So, I don't know anybody on day one. I'm standing in the back of the cell, and they're all huddled around the TV. And they finally realize I'm in there with them. One guy's kind of standing like this, and he's looking around. Hey, that's the guy back there. It goes around, that's the guy back there. Now, the alpha male gets in, he walks up to me, pretty big guy, he's like, you an international terror? I said, yeah. So that's fine, man, you don't look like an international terror. I said, maybe it's because I'm the exact opposite of one. Here's what I did. I freed some mink. They're going to have their necks broken. Now, the first thing he said to me, I preached a lot in jail, first thing everybody said to me was, what the hell's a mink? It's like a big ferret. It's an rodent thing. And the next thing that was always said to me, this is not verbatim, but the intonation is verbatim. It went something like this. Wait a second. They put you in here with us? Because you freed some rats? And the emphasis was always on us. They knew they were bad with us? I said, no, they put me in here with you because I also caused $2.1 million in damage to the mink farm and put the guy out of business permanently to this day, and we don't tolerate economic sabotage in our society. One more thing I want you to think about. When they first arrested me, they refused to give me bail. They thought I was going to bail out, go back to Michigan, and there's no extradition for mink liberation. So I had a 10-day bail hearing. I bring this up because I challenge anyone in this room. Find me a 10-day bail hearing for a rapist, a murderer, or a child molester. Won't do it, but the mink liberator gets 10 days. Now, on day 10, my attorney, Steve Rogan, found out that the same exact judge, Elaine Babcock, that had been denying me bail for 10 days, had just given a man from Michigan, 3 weeks earlier, $1,000 bail, second-degree criminal sexual conduct. Now, you know how judges can give when they don't want to hear something in their courtroom. Boy, she goes flush red, top of her voice. She goes, Steve, don't you dare bring that up in my courtroom. That's got nothing to do with this case, and you damn well know it. Now, I'm sitting over in the defendant's box. I can't talk to my attorney now. He's pacing, but in my head I'm going like, don't back down, don't back down, don't back down. So he's pacing and pacing. I'm like, come on, Steve. And 30 seconds later, he turns and he says, you know what, Your Honor? It's got everything to do with this case. My client tried to stop cruelty. And he wants to go to jail at this point and make a statement on behalf of the animals. You gave that guy from Michigan bail for sexually assaulting a woman, and you won't give my client bail? She looks at me for the first time in 10 days, and I was like, $10,000 bail. Now, agree or disagree with law breaking, and I hope you understand everybody that we all collectively admire. Dr. King, Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Henry David Thoreau, Jesus, we're all radical lawbreakers. Every single person on this planet that ever made substantive change was a radical lawbreaker. Even if for some reason you don't think that I should be breaking laws or that people should break laws, you can't tell me it should cost $1,000 to sexually assault a woman for bail and $10,000 to free some rats. Bottom line on this, sexually assaulting a woman doesn't affect the economy. And we just don't care about things that don't affect the root of all evil, money. Question?
A, what got you started, and B, what's the tattoo?
Tattoo is me with a mask on holding a bunny rabbit, and it says Presto et Persto, which is Latin for I stand in front and I stand firm, and it says ALF, Animal Liberation Front, which is a group that goes around, there's no membership, but anybody that goes around and liberates an animal or destroys a place of torture is considered an ALF member. What got me started was my stepdad is a clown in the Shrine Circus. Takes me backstage when I'm 23, and mind you, I got my blinders on too. I could care less about animals besides the dogs that are in my life, or if a chipmunk runs by me, I'm like, hey, look at a chipmunk. Right? But I'm like everybody else. I'm eating dead animals. I could care less about cows and pigs and what they're going through. And he invites me backstage and says, you want to come see the elephants? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to see the elephants. Are you kidding me? Can I bring Wendy with me too? My girlfriend at the time. I said, yeah, bring Wendy down. So Wendy and I go backstage. We're excited. We're like playfully pushing each other like, I'm first. We get back there and we just stop dead in our tracks. When you see cruelty in front of your face, you don't need somebody to explain it to you. I knew what I was seeing was evil. 3 elephants were lined up in chains, front left foot, back right foot, each of them, chained up to the cement floor of the warehouse of the Michigan State Fairground. I looked to the left, I saw a monkey screaming and grabbing the bars of his prison. I saw 2 tigers to the right of me pacing pathetically. And I turned to Wendy, pardon my language, but I'll tell you exactly what I said. I said, what the fuck is an elephant doing on 8 Mile and Woodward Avenue in Detroit in the first place? She said, I don't know. And we walked up face to face with these elephants. And if you pay attention to energy, and please don't think this is weird. We do this all the time, like with babies, with infants. They don't talk and communicate. But a baby starts crying. You're thirsty? Oh, you're hungry? You need to be changed. You figure it out. Look at their eyes. Look at their movement. These elephants were swaying like this, neurotic. Now, I'm no elephant expert, but I know that's not elephant behavior. I later found out that's a neurotic behavior every elephant gets in every circus because they're kept in chains. In the wild, elephants walk 20 to 50 miles a day. I looked into their eyes. I saw nothing but hopelessness and fear. And I knew something was wrong. So that got me thinking, where did my food come from? Where did my shoes come from? What really goes on in an animal research lab? So that's when I started investigating. I mentioned this earlier. I started going into the Thornapple Valley Pig Slaughterhouse. I started going into animal research labs. And I fought it at first, like everybody does, like most people do. I didn't want to stop eating the animals. What else am I going to eat? Salads all day long? I mean, it's really like, there's a myth out there that all vegans live off of is iceberg lettuce and tomatoes. Okay, that's not true. But that's what I thought too. So anyways, the more I thought about it, the more I realized I was a hypocrite. Now here's a paradox I want you to think about. Why do we call some animals pets and others dinner? Why do we fight for the rights of certain animals to be happy and loved and safe? Dogs and cats in America. But others, hey, slice their beaks off. Those damn hens, slice them off, fully conscious. Those pigs, those piglets, rip their testicles out. Screw them. There's a major hypocrisy going on. You can see the choice that I made. All I can ask you to do is put your head on your pillow every night knowing that you are not responsible for premeditated acts of cruelty. Again, the world is tough enough for us, and especially for the animals. Do we have to make it worse by eating them? There is no need in this day and age to be consuming any animal product whatsoever. It's time to let it go.
So I noticed when I came in here that you were not a member of PETA. Why was that?
Full disclosure, 2002 to 2005 in November, PETA funded my tour. I was never a PETA employee. I took money from them as a sponsor, independent contractor. I take money from anybody to do good things with it. I don't think it's wrong to take evil money and do good things with it. Now, PETA pulled their funding from me in November '05 because they told me that education isn't important. Really? It's the only thing that ever made the world a better place, was teaching somebody else about why they shouldn't discriminate and harm somebody else. But bottom line with PETA, the corporation that is PETA, with their corporate headquarters in Norfolk, Virginia, I'm a money taker and not a money maker. I told you during the speech, and I meant it, I have never once charged a school for a lecture. I've never once charged a professor to pay me to come into their classes. I have never once passed around a collection plate to students. I do not believe you should have to pay to learn about the truth. Now, PETA, it cost me about $64 grand a year to do this tour. 35 to 40 is to travel, hotels, rental cars, food, gas. It's not cheap to live on the road 7.5 months a year. I take the rest so I can just live and pay my own bills, which is meager. It's a meager salary that I get for doing this. But in the end, the accountants came into PETA's headquarters, Ingrid Newkirk's offices. She's the founder and president of PETA, and said, you know, we've given Gary 64 grand for 3 years. That's $192,000. We also gave him $20,000 to put his speeches on DVD that he gave out for free to the students when he was supposed to charge them $10. When I first got these DVDs, people would always come up and say, hey, Gary, I want to share this with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my dad, my sister, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, great, I got some DVDs at $10. And nearly every student would say, I'm broke, I'm a student, what do you mean $10? I'm like, Oh, okay, here you go. So I gave out at least 95%, if not more, of my DVDs. Well, PETA found out about that. They were pissed off, and I used to say, you guys make $25 million a year. You can't give out a couple thousand DVDs to people that are actually now begging to learn more about animal rights and veganism. So that, obviously ended our relationship when they pulled their funding from me. But something else, I always condemned PETA when I first started, while I took their money, and now that I don't take their money, I still condemn them. They exploit women. Their tactics are so ridiculous. They're always looking for a naked woman. Like Pam Anderson. They want to put Pam Anderson's boobs on billboards all the time. Now listen, I dig that Pam Anderson cares about animals, honestly. But her boobs don't make anybody go vegan. Now when I used to bring this up with Ingrid, she used to say, do you know how many people see those billboards than see your speech? I'm like, oh, it's not even close. Millions more. Are you telling me guys are walking through Times Square, New York City, there's Pam on a billboard, and they're going, holy shit, look at those tits. Let's get some tofu. There's no connection. No, listen, I understand why sex is used, why women are exploited to sell products. I don't like it. But if you tell guys, spray this on, and 12 women are going to tackle you in the hallway and have sex with you, boy, guys, or give me some Axe, spray it all over me. You tell a guy, you're going to get laid if you buy a Harley. Boy, guys want to go get a Harley. But you show Pam Anderson's boobs, nothing. In, out. Doesn't do anything. And there's a lot more horrible things going on in PETA. I actually have an essay on my website. If you click on other animal rights issues, I have an essay entitled What's Wrong with PETA and What's Wrong with the Humane Society of the U.S., which is nothing but an animal welfare group that doesn't want to see the free animals at all. Let's go.